regarding some recent less than kind reviews. While I'm happy for people to dislike The Witcher 2 Assassins of Kings, reputed gaming magazines should be able to recognize the successes and failures in a game within the context of its own genre and platform, preferably by having an experienced follower of the genre review it. You won't catch me reviewing sports games on this channel because I'd be shit at it. I'm a pale, withered soul averse to the idea of physical activity and going outside, so why should I feel entitled to wreak my biased, uninformed opinions about the banality of sports games on poor sports gaming fans who really just want to hear from other fans? It would be nice to be able to censor Metacritic reviews for blatant EA brown-nosing,
Awesome.
hit-seeking contrarian rants, and complaints based on a personal inability to play the game, but it's impossible to know where to draw the line. We just have to live with it. Take it on the chin, enjoy the game, and pity those who can't. Having said that, I'm not blind to the faults in The Witcher 2 raised by these slightly misguided reviews. The dragon segments within the tutorial are tough until you learn how to proceed. I forgive these peaks in difficulty curve because you're against a big dragon. It would be strange if it wasn't challenging. And CD Projekt Red isn't the kind of developer to compromise plausibility for the sake of a child-friendly difficulty curve. And long may it remain so. The combat isn't all that hard, and I'm not especially good at games. Players very quickly learn to keep moving and parry. The quick time event fistfights took me by surprise, but didn't kill me because I have ample control of my fingers. Once you know the basics, normal difficulty is not overwhelming, and the tutorial paragraphs are clearly written and easy to access. I have plenty of minor niggles with the game though. I don't particularly like the over-integration of QuickTime events, there's a few too many here. Aiming at objects to loot or interact with can be fussy. At one point guards spawned behind me, which was a little prod in the ribs to my immersion, and then a previously locked door magically unlocked, which was a flick on the ear to my immersion. I'm still able to steal everything without objection, which is a tweak of the nipple to my immersion. Every dwelling in the tutorial town was a redecorated version of the same one room. The audio volume of voice acting can be irregular, and at default settings is occasionally drowned out by the music. A sequence involving a magical shield seemed eerily similar to a sequence in Mass Effect 2 with a psionic shield. Combat is sometimes obscured by vegetation, and the auto-aim is sometimes hijacked by nearby torches, so you can find yourself magically illuminating hallways instead of hitting the bad guy. And occasionally Geralt decides to fly across the screen and attack the wrong target, although at this stage I expect that's an issue of me still getting used to the controls. Overall, I actually like the combat so far. Despite all the little disturbances to immersion, my immersion doesn't care. It's in a transfixed state and won't notice a few prods and tweaks, because bloody hell, this game sucked me in like an airplane toilet. It isn't just beautifully rendered, but convincingly realized. The detail is painstaking. The love and adoration poured into this game, well, it isn't subjective. Reviewing this game averagely is like calling the Mona Lisa average because it's got a slightly tatty frame. Sure, you're allowed to dislike it, but just as I can call another man objectively handsome without actively fancying him, a professional reviewer should be able to recognize such aesthetic and narrative quality in a game without necessarily liking it. And in an RPG, these qualities are fundamental, and no matter how the slightly dodgy game mechanics pan out as I progress through the game, as long as the narrative and aesthetic remains consistent, then The Witcher 2 wins. I'll finish the game this time before issuing a proper review. For now, I'll give it one puppy.